Do you ever see Swiss chard sold in stores and just walk right past it because you don't know what to do with it? It's these giant leaves. They look kind of like huge spinach leaves. You may see them in stores, you might see them in gardens. They have really gorgeous rainbow varieties that are pink and orange, and they're really, really good ones for the garden because they're not super fussy, so they're an amazing option for newer growers or just people that don't want a really fussy plant in their garden. The problem is that oftentimes we don't know what to do with it. If you think about something like kale, if you look online, you'll find millions of recipes for different kinds of kale recipes. Unfortunately, Swiss chard just does not have that same celebrity status yet. So I'm here to help change that and give you a fun new Swiss chard recipe using these giant leaves that you oftentimes don't know what to do with, or you're just looking to switch it up from the traditional sautéed green. Hey, I'm Nadia, and today I'm going to share with you a fun new Swiss chard recipe. This one is sort of like a dolma, and if you don't know what a dolma is, it's a grape leaf that is stuffed with like rice. Sometimes they put meat, but usually rice and herbs and things like that. It's an awesome use of the grape leaf, so I love that. But today we're talking Swiss chard. So it uses that same kind of principle. We're going to stuff the Swiss chard leaves with a combination of rice or quinoa. I'm going to show you both ways. Herbs, some hemp seeds. It's going to be a delicious option for you if you're just looking for a healthy snack, or if you want an appetizer that isn't going to weigh you down. So if you're having a dinner party and you just want something healthy as an option, then this is a really good one. It's also a good make-ahead lunch or snack. So I can make these the night before or even a few days before and eat them and just have them as a healthy snack in the fridge for the next couple of days. So it's satisfying because there is some carbs in there. There's the rice or the quinoa. If there's quinoa, it's even more protein, but you're also getting the greens. You're getting a fair amount of leafy greens and herbs inside of each one of these Swiss chard rolls. So it's a really cool one. I hope you try it, and I'm going to show you exactly how you can make it right now. Here's what you're going to need to make these Swiss chard rolls. Rice or quinoa, either one works. Sesame oil. If you don't have sesame oil, you can use olive oil or coconut oil, but the flavor is of course going to change because sesame oil does have a strong flavor to it. We're going to want some herbs. I'm using parsley, cilantro, and green onion in this recipe. Then we're going to want an onion and a clove of garlic. Of course, we need some Swiss chard, and the bigger the leaves, actually the better for this recipe. But if you have small ones, I'll show you how you can make that work as well. And then for a little crunch, we're going to use either hemp seeds or sesame seeds. I've done it both ways. I like both ways. It's really your choice on which one you want to go with. And then before I show you the steps, I just want to remind you that I have every single recipe that I have ever shared over on YouTube or on my blog in a free recipe book, and you can get that link down below. First off, we need to soften the Swiss chard leaves. So if we were to just take the raw leaves like this and try to stuff them, I mean, you can't. It won't, first of all, it won't bend, and it's a little bit, it's almost crunchy still. So we want to soften them. So we're going to do two things. We're going to cut out this middle stem. And then we're going to either blanch or steam the leaves. I prefer steaming. You get a little bit more nutrients that way that don't leach into the water, but whichever one you want. So steam or blanch them just until they're soft. It'll only take a few minutes. And then while that's steaming, let's chop up our onion and our garlic. And we want it super, super finely minced, as small as you can make it. Because these are really small rolls, we don't want big chunks of onion or garlic in the rolls. It won't taste very good. So get it as small as you can make it. And then you just want to saute it in a pan with a little bit of oil, or water is fine too if you want to cut down on the oil. You don't actually need the oil here. You just really want it to soften. And then I add the oil after, like I'm doing here. The other really nice thing about doing that is that you're not heating the oil. So you're retaining a lot more of the properties in the oil and minimizing the chance of the oils going rancid because they're getting too high, like the smoke point is getting too high. I like to saute them in water, but whatever, oil or water, so they lose some of that raw flavor. And then we need to chop up our herbs. So I'm chopping up parsley, cilantro, and green onion. Well, I'm actually not using green onion. I'm using the tops of onion, and I do that all the time. I actually grow a perennial type of onion called Egyptian walking onion for this purpose, because it is the exact same as green onion, but it's effortless to grow. It's a perennial. It's pretty much always growing in my garden, and I never have to start the seeds. I don't have to wait for them to grow. So I use the tops of onions all the time as a replacement for green onion. But of course, if you don't have them growing in your garden, certainly you can use green onion or chives for this, either one. And then we want to stir it all together. So get all of those flavors infused. We want it to evenly mix up with the rice. And then we want to drizzle in some of our sesame oil. So I love, love, love to use sesame oil in this recipe because it really adds a lot of flavor, and toasted sesame oil specifically. The flavor, the smell is just, you can't get that with a lot of other oils. So if you don't have it, certainly you can use whatever oil you have. It's just not going to have the same intense flavor as if you were to use a toasted sesame oil. And throw in whatever seed you used, sesame seed or the hemp seed on top, just for presentation. You certainly don't have to do that, but if you're serving it to guests, that would be a nice option. So get that all stirred up, throw in some salt and pepper, and if you'd like a little bit of rice wine vinegar, just to add a little bit of acidity, that's fine. You could also use lemon juice. And then there you go, our filling is done. So now all we need to do is roll them up in the Swiss chard leaves. It's almost like a cooked lasagna noodle, the difference. So it's really, really pliable. I can roll it up and it's not gonna break or snap in at all. So this one is probably too big. You don't need this quite this much. So if you have a really big leaf like this, which is kind of the point of the recipe, right? Then you can just cut it in half. It's about, if you can get one that's about the size of your hand, that's plenty. It doesn't even quite have to be that big. But you just want it enough that when you roll it up, it has enough layers to cover it. But that is a perfect size right there. So all I'm gonna do is I'm going to take some of my filling, no, not much, like a tablespoon at the most. Put it into the top of my leaf. If you have a big enough leaf, you can tuck in the sides and then roll it up so that it doesn't come up the ends. And you're rolling it up super, super tight. And then there you have it, a tiny little Swiss chard roll. And you can put it on a platter. When they've sat for a little bit, certainly in the fridge, they will hold their shape really, really well after they've kind of cooled down and relaxed a little bit. So they definitely do get more sturdy if you make them ahead. So bonus, you can make ahead and actually get even better results. And this one, if you don't want to tuck in the sides, you don't have to. You can simply just roll it up. And then if you have smaller leaves like this, you can just overlap them a little bit like that and then roll it up. And if you do have quinoa, this is a mix of black and white quinoa that I made already. It's the exact same ingredients. I just swapped the rice for quinoa, and actually I did swap the sesame seeds for hemp seeds. So whichever, doesn't matter. But you're gonna do the exact same thing. Take a little bit of this quinoa mix. So easy to make these. You're getting leafy greens, a really nice sort of, it's substantial enough filling, especially if you're using the quinoa because you're getting that extra hit of protein. And it's a really easy, healthy way to have a snack, to make a lunch that you can bring to work or on the go. If your kids are willing to eat it, certainly it's a really nice one for them too to have in their lunchbox. I don't know if all kids will take it, but you can try. And it's a really nice one to have if you're having guests over or just having people over and you want to offer them a healthy snack that's just different from like veggies and dip. Now, granted, I do that all the time, but sometimes it's nice to have a little spice and you know, shake it up a little bit fancier appetizer, but still super, super healthy. So I hope that you are more inclined to try this Swiss chard recipe and really experiment with this leafy green. It's such an underused vegetable And I'm hoping that more recipes like this will come out and get people really excited, like they do with the very famous kale, because it's a really fun one to add to your recipe collection. So if you try it, definitely let me know in the comments below, or you can tag me over on Instagram. I'm over there as well. I'd love to see your creation. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.